a second year fourth grade teacher in the state of Texas. If you stick around till the end of the video, I will share a freebie for how to structure your small groups, just so that way that you can meet with every group every day, and the way to structure your time so that you run your groups efficiently, if that makes sense. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I will be doing differently this year as opposed to last year. So last year was my first year back after a hiatus. I took a break for having kids, and then I came back to the classroom last year. I was kind of trying everything out, and so I've learned some things since then that I'm going to share with you all today. All right, let's jump right in. So the first thing that I'm going to make sure that I don't do is I'm going to make sure that I'm building rapport with students and not friendships. Fourth graders are a tricky bunch. One minute they're rolling their eyes at you, and the next minute they're crying on your shoulder because somebody called them a name. I've learned the difference between being too friendly and with developing rapport. I've made the mistake in the past of joking around with kids and then them not taking you seriously when it comes time to actually do work or set expectations for them. So this year, since I've done it all once before, I know what my expectations are, so I'm going to do a better job of setting clear expectations. And then once those are set, then I have more leeway to build rapport and joke around a little bit within the confines of my classroom. Last year, I kind of got drug into the whole like, oh, well, you don't have to come to the carpet. You know, I would ask everyone to come to the carpet, and then some kids would ask me if they had to, and I'd be like, well, no, you don't have to. So then it turned into, I had 18 kids asking me individually after I would tell them to come to the carpet, if they could come to the if they needed to come to the carpet. And so that's kind of an example of what I mean by building rapport, not friendships. We're not going to be buddy-buddy. You do have to come to the carpet because this is time that I'm going to share something important, and you can't be looking at your iPad and then later on you don't know what's going on. With that being said, I've learned a lot about behavior, incentives, and expectations when it comes to fourth graders. Again, 10-year-olds are a tricky bunch. So my number 2 thing that I'm going to do differently this year is I'm going to have behavior systems and set clear expectations. So my first year back was a time for me to try different things and see what worked and what didn't. This year I've had a chance to do that, and now going into it, my second year, I finally settled on individual star cards as an incentive system. And students, they're just little cards that I print off on paper, and they're outlined with stars around them, and they color in a star every time that I tell them to. And so they're in charge of it. They color it with their pencil, and they keep track of it. They put it in their iPad or in their pencil case. And when they're done with when they complete a star card, they have a list of prizes that they can choose from. That can be anything from bringing a stuffed animal to school the next day, to picking the class music for the day, or running a morning meeting. I found that those are things that they work towards, but at the same time, I think in the process, especially as the year tends to go on and they become more tweeny type kids, just the process is more incentivizing than the actual prize. So like when they get a star, or they get 2 stars, or because they were the first one to do this or that, like that's more rewarding than the reward itself. Because we all want to be praised for a job well done. And that in itself helps build rapport with kids, that they know that they, are praised for when they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Number 3 is optimal layout of my classroom, or knowing how to set up my classroom. Now, after having done this for 1 year, I know where the high traffic areas of the classroom are. I know that I need to place my small group table equidistant from all the other areas where kids are going to be working so that I can use proximity to monitor all the other groups and what they're supposed to be doing. This way I can teach my small group while keeping an eye on conversations that are going on in the other parts of the classroom. Similarly, my desk area is a place where I need space from the hustle and bustle of the classroom. I'm putting a grab table in front of the room so that way students can grab papers when they come in at the beginning of the day. This is also an area where I'll have my nurse passes, sharp and dull pencils, and extra materials that students may need if they run out of them when they're doing their work. My teacher desk will be somewhat removed or naturally barricaded from little hands. Behind it will be a refrigerator, a microwave, and any extra snacks that I bring for my own children for when I have staff meetings after school. That way my kids have snacks when they're waiting for me to get out of my staff meeting. Number 4, adequate boundaries with technology. Our school, as most schools post-COVID, is a one-to-one campus and everybody has an iPad. This means that there's a lot of apps that kids have access to that may not be appropriate for learning. This year, I'm limiting their temptation to access their iPad by separating it from them. So they'll have access to their iPad at certain times of the day, but most of the time it'll live in a 3-drawer cart. All right, and then last but not least, my number 1 thing that I've learned is not to take things too personal. I think I put so much of myself and so much thought into my classroom. I want to make activities engaging, and so if things go a way that I don't plan for them to, it's hard not to take it personal. But ultimately there's there's kids in the room, and those kids are tied to families that may or may not, you know, be going through a good season of life, right? And a lot of times it's easy to point fingers, and so that's just kind of part of the job. And that's I think every teacher's struggle is that you'll just ultimately have to learn to distance yourself from negativity, whether that be coworkers or families that you serve, and just kind of show up and do the best job that you can, given the circumstances, and then make the best of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and comment on anything that you think resonated with you. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.